There are 5 numbers that predict how long you're gonna live more accurately than almost anything your doctor checks at your annual physical. 1 predicts your risk of dying better than your blood pressure does. Another kills more people from being too low than smoking cigarettes. And the crazy part is, most people watching this don't know a single one of their own scores. It's not because they're ignorant or uneducated, it's because most longevity advice out there is about what to avoid. Don't smoke, don't drink, don't eat junk, and sure, those things matter, but if you do all of that perfectly, you're only earning the right to be average. The people who live the longest don't get there by partying less. They get there because whether they realize it or not, they're optimizing for 5 health metrics that can all be measured with a number, most of which you can test right from your living room. And the gap between a good score and a bad score is bigger than the gap between smoking a pack of cigarettes a day and not smoking at all. My name is Alain Gonzalez. I'm the author of Muscle After 40, and this is the world's largest YouTube channel dedicated to helping men over 40 build muscle, stay strong, and live better. And after almost 2 decades of digging through the research, there are 5 numbers that stand out above almost everything else when it comes to predicting both lifespan and quality of life. In this video, I'm giving you all 5. By the end, you'll know whether you're on track to make it to 100 and what to fix if you're not. Let's start with number 1, which your doctor has probably never asked you about, and that's grip strength. Your grip strength can be measured using a simple handheld grip tester. In 2015, researchers followed over 100,000 adults across 17 countries. The study showed that grip strength predicted all-cause and cardiovascular mortality better than systolic blood pressure. Researchers also found that for roughly every 10-pound drop in grip strength, the risk of death from any cause increased by 16%. But it's not really about training for a stronger grip. It's about training to build a body that produces it. You see, grip strength is more like a quick snapshot of your overall strength and muscle mass, which are 2 of the biggest things protecting you from frailty and loss of independence as you age. After 30, most adults lose roughly 3 to 8% of their muscle mass per decade, and that decline accelerates after 60. So the goal isn't to walk around crushing hand grippers all day. It's to build and maintain a stronger body overall. But strength and muscle mass only buy you so much. The next number isn't just bigger, it's the single most powerful longevity predictor we have. And it kills more people than smoking does. And that number is VO2 max. VO2 max is the maximum amount of oxygen your body can use during exercise. This 2018 study tracked 122,000 adults for more than 8 years and looked at how strongly cardiovascular fitness predicted the risk of death. The people in the lowest fitness category had roughly 5 times the mortality risk of the fittest group. The good news is you don't need to be an elite athlete. The biggest mortality benefit came from simply escaping the bottom 25%. And for most people, that can be accomplished with nothing more than a few Zone 2 cardio sessions each week. The third number tests whether you can actually use either of them. It's the sit-rise test scored out of 10. The test captures lower body strength, balance, flexibility, and coordination, all capacities that, when lost, can steal your independence and quality of life. To perform this one, start from a standing position and cross your feet. Under control, lower yourself all the way down to a seated position on the floor. Once you're seated, stand back up the same way you came down, with your feet crossed, your core braced, and without using your hands, your elbows, or your knees for support. The scoring is simple. You start with 10 points and lose a point every time you need a hand, knee, or some other form of support. And as silly as the test looks, the results were strongly linked to longevity. A 2014 study followed 2,002 adults aged 51 to 80. The people who scored between 0 and 3 were more than 5 times as likely to die during the study period as those who scored between 8 and 10. and each 1 point increase in score was linked to a 21% reduction in mortality. Now, those first three numbers measure what your body can do on the outside. The fourth measures what's quietly happening on the inside, and while you can't feel it, you can test for it. And that number is your hemoglobin A1C. It's a blood test that shows your average blood sugar over roughly the past 3 months, and if you order it yourself, it only costs about $30. The standard cutoffs are simple. Below 5.7 is considered normal, 5.7 to 6.4 is prediabetes, and 6.5 and above is diabetes. But here's the important part. The risk doesn't suddenly appear once you cross one of those thresholds. It starts climbing long before that. A 2010 study followed more than 11,000 non-diabetic adults for over 14 years and found that even within the normal range, higher hemoglobin A1C levels predicted more cardiovascular disease, more strokes, and higher all-cause mortality. That's because hemoglobin A1C is one of the clearest windows into three of the biggest slow killers: type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and dementia. All three are deeply connected to how well your body handles and regulates fuel over time. To improve it, the goal is to build more muscle, stay active, and avoid constantly overeating highly processed foods. And that brings us to the last number. It's one your doctor has probably measured your entire life, but they've likely been using the wrong metric. The number isn't your BMI, it's your body fat percentage. The problem with BMI is that it can't tell the difference between muscle and fat. A 220-pound running back and a 220-pound office worker of the same height would have the exact same BMI despite having completely different health profiles and mortality risk. A 2025 study followed over 4,000 adults for 15 years and found that body fat percentage was a significantly stronger predictor of mortality than BMI. People with high body fat were almost 2 times more likely to die from any cause and almost 4 times more likely to die from heart disease than those in the healthy range. As a general target, men should aim to stay around 20% or below. For women, staying under 28% is a solid target. And unlike what most people think, you don't need expensive lab equipment to track it. You can get a reasonably good estimate at home with an inexpensive pair of skin fold calipers. And that's really the bigger point of this entire video. Most people are walking around completely blind to the metrics that actually predict how long and how well they'll live. 5 numbers that most people watching this video probably didn't even know an hour ago. And the interesting part is you don't actually need to obsess over tracking 5 separate things. Most of these numbers improve from the same basic things: building muscle, staying active, eating better, and keeping your body fat under control. So pick the one you're worst at, find out where you actually stand, and start improving it. And if you want to take it a step further, watch my video, Most Men Can't Pass These Basic Fitness Tests. It covers 10 simple fitness tests you can do right from your living room to see how fit you actually are for your age. So check that out, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.